Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say call halal, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Akar, Kodash. I want to send double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and salutations to y'all Yakim out there pushing the word of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, in sincerity and truth. This is the brother Ariala. I just wanted to do a lesson on just this place is not ready for the destruction that's getting prepared to come, you know. With all of the ways that Esau has built up America and its pride and gone all across the world, removing landmarks, setting people up. You know, we read Habakkuk, the second chapter, all the time. It's just put itself in a position where these nations have now gone about and prepared themselves for World War III. And, you know, we did the lesson in 1 hour. The judgment is going to come to this place, and, you know, this place is just not prepared for the destruction, these missiles, you know, that's going to absolutely wipe this place out. So I want to play another clip from Annie Jacobson and just highlight that part. When the scripture says here in Ezekiel 38:10, thus saith the Lord power, it shall come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, having neither bars nor gates. And this is what's going to happen, man. This is what this place doesn't have the defense capabilities. We've been seeing the wars happening over there with Israel's Iron Dome, and how they're able to somehow intercept some of those missiles. And that thing can't even hold up to an actual real onslaught if these nations decide to press that button. And so these people, I was watching in a Telegram chat with these Israelis in it, and the people really think that they gonna be able to just play around with these other nations. As those missiles was hitting the targets from Iran, as Iran was shooting missiles on the state of Israel, which Iran wasn't even trying to attack civilians. The pride of the Edomites over there in the state of Israel was just crazy. They actually showing videos of themselves having sex with their woman, you know, while the missiles or while the bombs are going off in the background, outside partying while the bombs are going off. So I'm looking at these in this chat, man, trying to get some news, and I'm seeing them really just talking noise. So they do really think that they dwell without care, and it's even heightened over here in Babylon the Great, over here in America. People really don't think that this place will ever be touched, and that's just not the case. When you go here, Jeremiah 49:31, it says, Arise, get you up unto the wealthy nation that dwelleth without care, saith the Lord, which have neither gates nor bars, which dwell alone. And that's kind of like, think about North America. This place has not been invaded. It hasn't been touched like war, like over there in Asia, over there in Africa, okay? Over there, you know, in what's the so-called Middle East, all right? But we're going to see something different this time around, and that's why the pride of Esau is always mentioned, okay? So I'm going to play this clip.
What is the interceptor capabilities of the United States? How many nuclear missiles can be stopped?
I was at a dinner party with a very informed person, right? Like somebody who really, you know, should have known this. And this is when I was considering writing and reporting this book. And he said to me, oh, Annie, that would never happen because of our powerful interceptor system. Okay. Well, he's wrong. Let me tell you about our powerful interceptor system. First of all, we have 44 interceptor missiles, total, period, full stop. Let me repeat, 44, okay? Earlier, we were talking about Russia's 1,670 deployed nuclear weapons. How are those 44 interceptor missiles going to work, right? And they also have a success rate of around 50%. So they work 50% of the time. There are 40 of them in Alaska, and there are 4 of them at Vandenberg Air Force Base in Santa Barbara, okay? And they are responsible at about 9 minutes into the scenario, right? After the ICBM has finished that 5-minute boost phase we talked about. Now it's in mid-course phase, and the ground radar systems have identified, yes, this is an incoming ICBM.
Mm-hmm.
And now the interceptor missiles have to launch, right? It's essentially shooting a missile with a missile. Inside the interceptor, which is just a big giant rocket, in its nose cone, it has what's called the aptly named exo-atmosphere.
So this is why, prophetically, this is a place of unwalled villages. It has no protection. People just really in these major cities, which are targets, and they're not defended. They can't be defended. She's just laying it out to you. They only got 44 missiles to try to take out thousands and thousands of missiles that are prepared to come over here. And that's just to stop a Russian attack. Scriptures tell us that there's going to be all types of these other nations are going to be jumping in. Even European. There is no hope for this place. There's no chance.
Eric kill vehicle. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
There's no explosives in that thing. It's literally just going to take out the warhead, ideally, with force. So one of them is going like, Mach 20. And the speeds at which these two moving objects hurtling through space are going is astonishing. And the fact that interception is even possible is really remarkable, but it's only possible 50% of the time.
Is it possible that we only know about 44, but there could be a lot more?
No, impossible. That I would be willing to bet.
And how well tested are these interceptors?
Well, that's where we get the success rate that's around 50% because of the tests, right? And actually...
44, and they're only 50% successful. There's no hope. That's why this place is going to be caught off guard. Obadiah chapter 1 verse 3 says, "The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord." Okay? Now I'm gonna get this is also in Jeremiah in the NLT and read it, but this place is not gonna be it's not gonna be a good look. It's not gonna be a good look. Verse 6: "How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him." Okay? This place is going to be caught completely chin out, not seeing the punch coming, absolutely finished. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men of Edom and understanding out of the mount of Esau? All these so-called scientists, rocket scientists, right? These top-level generals and politician figures, political figures. Elon Musk is not going to be able to save the system, right? "And the mighty man, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter." Those missiles are going to hit their targets, man. Point blank, period.
The interceptor program is, are you ready for this? It's on strategic pause, right now. Meaning the interceptor missiles are there, but developing them and making them more effective is on strategic pause because they can't be made more effective, right? People have these fantasies that we have a system like the Iron Dome, and they see this in current events, and they're like, oh, our interceptors would do that. It's just simply not true.
Why can't an Iron Dome-like system be constructed for nuclear warheads?
We have systems I write about called the THAAD system, which is ground-based, and then the Aegis system, which is on, vessels. And these are great at shooting down some rockets, but they can only shoot them sort of one at a time. You cannot shoot the mother load as it's coming in. Those are the smaller systems, right? The tactical nuclear weapons. And by the way, our THAAD systems are all deployed overseas, and our Aegis systems are all out at sea. And again, reporting that, I was like, wait, what? You have to really hunker down. Are we sure about this? People.
So Esau has spread himself and his military so thin across the world that the mainland here is unprotected. They dwelleth without care. You know? And we see that, man. But that's through pride and arrogancy.
Really don't want to believe this is an actual fact. After 9/11, Congress considered putting, Aegis missiles and maybe even THAAD systems along the west coast of the United States to specifically deal with the threats against nuclear-armed North Korea. But it hasn't done so yet. And again, you have to ask yourself, wait a minute, this is insanity. One nuclear weapon gets by any of these systems, and it's full-out nuclear warfare. So that's not the solution. More nuclear weapons is not the solution.
I'm looking for a hopeful thing here about North Korea. How many deployed nuclear warheads does North Korea have? So does the current system, as we described it, the interceptors and so on, have a hope against the North Korean attack? The one that you mentioned people are worried about.
So North Korea has 50 nuclear weapons right now. Some NGOs put it at more than 100. It's impossible to know because North Korea's nuclear weapons program has no transparency. They're the only nuclear-armed nation that doesn't announce when they do a ballistic missile test. Everyone else does. No one wants to start a nuclear war by accident, right? So if Russia's going to launch an ICBM, they tell us. If we're going to launch one, and I'm talking test runs here, with a dummy warhead, we tell them, not North Korea. That's a fact, okay? So we're constantly up against the fear of North Korea. In the scenario, I have the incoming North Korean 1 megaton, weapon coming in, and the interceptor system tries to shoot it down. So there's not enough time. And this, by the way, I ran through by all, generals from the Pentagon who run these scenarios for NORAD, right? And confirmed all of this as fact. This is the situation, right? So in the scenario, I have the nuclear ICBM coming in, the interceptor missiles try to shoot down the warhead. The capability is not like what's called shoot, and look. They can't. There's not enough time to go like, and we're going to try to get it. We missed it. Okay, let's go for another one. So you have to go, poof, 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 right? So in my scenario, we fire off 4, which is about what I was told would 1 to 4 because you're worried about the next one that's going to come in. You're going to use up 10% of your missile force, of your interceptor force on one, and all 4 miss, and that's totally plausible.
See, this is what we're looking at in the destruction of this place. This is what we're looking at, man. So when this thing gets ready to go down, there's no coming back from this. We talked about this in the last Algo. I just want to kind of follow up with this information because I thought it was pertinent to the prophecy. It makes, it pops. But I'm going to read this part in Jeremiah, the 49th chapter in the NLT, though, and close out. And Lord willing, you brothers can just add more scriptures and thoughts in the chat. Jeremiah 49:14 says, I have heard a message from the Lord that an ambassador was sent to the nations to say, form a coalition against Edom and prepare for battle. The Lord says to Edom, I will cut you down to size among the nations. You will be despised by all. And we know Esau, so-called white man, all these nations, even they angry at themselves. You have been deceived by the fear you inspire in others and by your own pride. You live in a rock fortress and control the mountain heights. See, they control the sky. They control these governments, all right? We see the rock fortresses when you go to these major cities. You see the Pentagon and everything like that, right? It says, but even if you make your nest among the peaks with the eagles, I will bring you crashing down, says the Lord. Edom will be an object of horror. All who pass by will all be appalled and will gasp at the destruction they see there. It will be like the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah and their neighboring towns, saith the Lord. No one will live there. No one will inhabit it. Okay? This is what's going to happen, man. I will come like a lion from the thickets of the Jordan, leaping on the sheep in the pasture. I will chase Edom from its land. I will appoint the leader of my choice. For who is like me? Who can challenge me? What ruler can oppose my will? All right? And so this is what's set to befall Babylon the Great, America, man. There's no getting around it. They try to purport themselves to have all this missile technology, but in their pride, they haven't even set up defenses for themselves. These unwalled villages are going to be brought down. So, yeah, I just wanted to bring out that point, Lord Willie. It was edifying, man. With that being said, man, once again, call Allah Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Lakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and salutations to y'all. I came out there pushing the word sincerely and truth, man. Shalom.